Good morning, Legacy 10 Group. It is so good to see you this morning. Happy New Year. This is our first meeting in 2022. So I'm really glad to see your faces, or at least see your names. And I know how that is when we're doing our early morning meetings. I'm recording this one today, but I doubt that I will share this with too many people. I almost did not come on this morning myself. I just did not want to cancel any more time with you because it's been 3 weeks since we've met, and it's almost like I'm not done yet. If that makes sense. I was telling Thomas this morning that I understand why God might have given Jesus 40 days of preparation. He didn't say 35 days. He didn't say 38 days. He said, full 40 days of preparation before he walked in his ministry. Moses, we know 40 days before.
And 40 days, it equals probation. It's probation.
Okay.
40 days, yeah. That's what biblical.
That's the biblical definition of it. And we definitely know that it's preparation, because for every one of them, it was what was needed in terms of preparation. And we know that with Jesus, he was led into the wilderness by, God led him into the temptation. He was led by the Spirit into those 40 days where he was messed with by the enemy. And so I knew that his walking through that successfully was part of the reason why he walked in victory in all the years of his ministry. So I'm writing a book because I told God I'm not quite sure how to even describe what you're doing. And so I'll try to give you tidbits of what this has been like, and tidbits of even this morning of where he's taking me. And my prayer is that I'm to go to Monday. I haven't even counted the days to see if that's 40 days. I need to count the days. But anyway, on December, and I'm writing a book based on this that's called From Darkness to Light to Victory is the name of the book. And I'm already writing it because I'm asking God to help me to be able to explain what it is that I'm experiencing. So I'll share this with you guys briefly. I've got about 40 pages of notes because I'm journaling continually through his whole process. And as you guys know, well, I'll say this first, that on December 15th, I woke up and I was in such I don't know how to say it, a dark place. I felt stuck. I couldn't even explain it. And I called my office manager and I had counseling appointments that day. I had her cancel all of my appointments for the rest of December. And as you guys know, I've told people that I'm kind of sequestering. I'm kind of going in, me and God, because I'm not sure what's going on with me, and I'm not sure what he's doing. And I need to give him my undivided attention. So Thomas and I, you guys don't know, we almost talk every day. And we do talk every day. And even for this period of time, I've had to say to him, okay, I need these 3 weeks where we don't touch bases much, because I need to give God my undivided attention. And for about a week, I was in a kind of spiritual warfare. I don't know if you guys have ever, because I do deliverance work and because of the kind of things that I do, if the enemy can gain any access, then he really, I get both barrels, if that makes sense. And I know why. But I also know that we give him place, that if he attacks as heavily as he did for that first week, then there was something, a thought pattern, something within me that gave him place. And so spiritual warfare, that I couldn't even ask people. I didn't know how to get people to even pray for me, because I wasn't quite understanding what I was dealing with myself. But in that time, it was a battle, but God was dealing with mindsets. He was dealing with a bunch of stuff on the inside. He was teaching me some things about how to rule and how to reign, and teaching me some things about spiritual warfare, and not spiritual warfare, authority, walking in your God-given authority, and showing me in a deeper level things that I thought I understood. You know, isn't it amazing that sometimes you can think you understand some things I've even taught. And he said, you don't understand this to the degree you need to, based on where I'm taking you. So if I was to call this anything, I would say that this was like a fast track preparation, because he did some serious renewing of the mind. He did some serious emotional healing. He did a lot of stuff within this this first week, where I began to see light, and began to get some idea of what he was dealing with. Now I'm wanting him to talk to me about what you're going to do this year, and what's your goal for me this year. And he didn't even go there. His first thing was, let me deal with you so that I can get you prepared for what's coming. You know what I'm saying? So on December, the day after Christmas, I had this dream that I'll just, give you. He's been dealing with me a lot with dreams and visions during this time. I've been had more visions and dreams in these 3 weeks than I've had in a while. And I literally took a chainsaw, not a chainsaw, but I took a saw, and I chopped off all of my legs, all of my arms, and was at a place where I was about to chop off one arm, because I had to have one arm to cut off my neck. I said, what in the heck is that about? And what I knew was that was a dream where God is saying, you have to get rid of self-effort. You have to get rid of this notion of you doing anything without me. And so by the cutting off of your limbs, what you're saying is that you're not going to walk. You're not going to do with your hands. You're even going to do this drastic, and that's kind of what he was doing with me in these 3 weeks, this drastic renewing of mind, and helping me to understand some things that I didn't see or grasp enough to walk in the reality of it, so that when I enter into this year, that I was going to be more God-dependent, more God-centered, and more sensitive to his voice than ever before. And so that dream right after Christmas, right after celebrating the birth of Jesus Christ, was what I had that dream. And I don't know, I do want to have your impressions about anything that I share. I'm shortening this, obviously. So then I'm asking him, so then what am I doing? What am I doing? And I didn't begin to get the picture of what he's doing for me until 11 p.m. right before New Year. I said, you waited last minute, God. But once he began to pour out the vision, guys, of what he's wanting me to do, it was a whoa. Are you serious? And it was almost like he had to prepare me to even see the vision, if that makes sense. And he had to prepare me to be able to even see it. So I am going to be changing how I do my my counseling ministry totally. And he's not finished with giving me the strategy of the how to, but he has definitely told me how I'm changing and shifting to training and replication. And I'm clear now in terms of how 4% and 7K is definitely a part of his picture to finance the vision. And so it was amazing. And so over the next few days, he's beginning to be giving me the strategy of how do I train, and how do I do this, and how do I do that, and what's you know what I'm saying? So he's been giving me more strategy. But then as I even yesterday was able to say, whoa, God, this is huge. So my prayer to him was, okay, what I'm wanting to get is confirmation, because, man, I need to know that what I am hearing is you. All these pages, can you confirm it? And then he went silent. And I said, well, I'm waiting for you to give, because, I hear his voice. And so, we're talking, and then all of a sudden silence. And so I'm asking, why the silence? And I didn't understand the silence until late last night and the beginning of this morning as I'm praying before I got to you. And what he said, I'm waiting for you. And I'm saying, what are you waiting for me? He says, I'm waiting for you to make this firm resolve, this firm commitment, this decision that what I have showed you, you are willing to move in and to walk in. And or with no doubt, with no uncertainty, which is the reason why he was dealing so heavily with me as it relates to faith. And so he says, I need to know absolutely that what I have showed you, that you are willing without doubt, was completely convinced that you're going to move in that direction. And so once I said, yes, Lord, then he began to deal with me this morning even more. And so, and the more, and where we left off was the notion that prosper as your soul prospers, you know what I'm saying, that scripture. And so then my question is my soul, Lord, and he's put this on this fast track preparation, guys. I'm telling you, the soul work, the mental work, the spiritual work that he has taken me through, it is amazing and eye-opening, and it's really hard to explain. It's the reason why I'm writing this book, because that's going to be my way of trying to explain what he's been doing these last 3 weeks. But and so that's where I left off before coming to you, Lord. Is my soul in a place where I can walk in the vision you have shown me? And if not, then continue to do whatever you need to do to shift, change. And there's a reason why he said you got to go to Monday. And so I know I'm not done. So he's still dealing with me with some strategies and some process. And I mean, he's giving me details of what your business website, I'm going to use eStage to redo my website. You know what I'm saying? He's giving me clear specifics in terms of the things that and I say website down, I'm talking about the ministry website. You know, my, how the counseling website. And at some point, I need to sit down with Donna and Rowena, because even though our board hasn't met in a while, I need to run this vision by you guys. And because I know you guys know how to hear God, then I'll, multitude of counsel safety. But I was told to do that, but I want to wait till I have the fuller picture. And I'm getting there. So this has been what I call a fast track preparation. He even this morning shared with me in advance how the enemy is going to try to come and attack me. I love it when God does that. And he gave me a taste of it, because I had 2 situations that happened, one through the internet, person I don't even know. And then another person, a family member, and there were just some things that kind of happened. And he said, see, this is how the enemy will try to attack you, through people. And you have to be in that people, that place where you're not moved by the opinions of man. You've got to be in that place absolutely where you don't get shaken, shook, moved by it. I don't care if it's a family member, that you know that you don't move and that you seek my wisdom. And I saw this wisdom, and he gave me strategy of how to deal with both, and all is well with family member, and all is well with whoever this person was on the internet who didn't even have the guts to identify themselves, attack me anonymously. But but that's okay, because we're not fighting flesh and blood. So I said, all right, enemy, you really did not want me. If you wanted confirmation, the fact that how you are continuing to mess with me shares with me that I'm not far off in terms of what God is trying to do in my life. Matter of fact, I believe I'm right there. So this is a good place, but he definitely wants me to be settled. So there's no uncertainty. I'm not debating it. I am not doubting it. I am crystal clear that this huge vision that he's given me, I am going to do. The people are going to criticize me the most are other counselors, because they're going to see the way that God has set me up. And it's so different than anything that's out here. What I love about God is when you get into his face, he will give you a vision that's not out here. You know what I'm saying? But if you don't have the faith to move, then he'll just give you a common vision. But I have said, Lord, I want more than a common vision. I want to make an impact. I'm in my 70s. And it's almost like he's saying, well, okay, yes, you are. So let me do what I need to do in you, mentally, emotionally, spiritually. Let me get to a place where you can carry this vision. Does that make sense? And so, and then not be moved, because, different levels, new devils, same God who protects me from all of it. You know what I'm saying? So I'm not at all worried about the enemy, but he did it for a week. He tormented me. And I could not get out of it. I couldn't, I said, what is this, God? It doesn't feel like depression, but I don't have the energy. I was drained of all energy. I was drained of, and it was almost like God said, are you at the end of yourself yet? And I said, yeah, I'm at the end, because I don't have the energy to get up. I don't have the energy to do anything. And when we're weak, we're strong in him, right? And so in that place of weakness is where it motivated me to really get in his face, you know what I'm saying, so that he could help me. And I these 3 weeks have been the most amazing that I've had with him in a while. So thank you for your patience with me, with my not being as available as I have in the past. And I'm not released yet to share the full vision of what God is telling me. He's not releasing me to share that publicly yet, except for, board members. But I will, as he really, the book is going to do it. So, and I believe the book is going to be written fast, because I've already written 40 pages. I already have it written. It's just a matter of me taking my personal journal with him and then having him help me write it and word it in a way that would bless people. Okay, so that's how you feel, Renee, of what you're going through right now. So see, that was Renee.
Yes. I feel I've been under attack, and I did this pain that I can't, understand what's going on, and I've been feeling the same way. I've for a while I wanted to just give up. Just give up, and and God has been talking to me. Don't you give up. Yep. Don't you give up, Renee. You keep on pushing on. This is just a purging right now to me, and that's what he said to me, purging.
See, so I'm glad I shared, because I said, what do I share, God? I mean, there's a lot that Vic has talked about, and I'll probably hint on some of those. But the purging is exactly what he did. And I'm blessed. That's one of the advantages of being single. And one of the advantages of having my own business, where if I want to shut down and not work, I can do it. I said, now I don't know how, if I don't work, I don't get paid. You know what I'm saying? But he's been paying my bills, you know what I'm saying? And he, I got my first $1,000 check from 7K. I got another $700 something coming from 4%. You know what I'm saying? So he's been blessing and taking care of me in the middle of this, so that I am in other ways, so that, he's not going to tell you to sacrifice and spend time with him and then have you struggle financially. He won't do that, and so he's been taking care of me with 3 weeks of not working. But, and I know a lot of people can't do that, and our prayer lives differ. How God deals with each of us differ. So for me, because I'm used to being able to talk to him all day, back-to-back conversations, my prayer life is conversational. I am able to take a day. And it didn't mean that I didn't take breaks during the day. I did, but my breaks were not talking to people. He might have said, you can watch an hour of TV, take a break, but then I'm back at it. You know what I'm saying? It wasn't, I was careful in what I listened to. I didn't listen to everybody. I have my ministers that bless me. I hear God through them. And so I would tie into them, and they would confirm, what I was getting. So yeah, don't give up, Renee. I think that we've heard the saying that the battle was usually the hardest at the end, because the enemy hopes you stop right before breakthrough or at the beginning. You know what I'm saying? That because he's hoping that you don't get started, because once you get started, then there's some momentum that grows, and he knows he has a harder time, stopping anything when the train has left the station. You know what I'm saying? So sometimes the battle is the worst in the beginning to end, but all things work for the good, for those who love the Lord and are called, and we're called. We each have an assignment. And so for us to be naive and to not think the enemy's not going to attack, it's just, that's naive. So I had to go to deeper places. I was also attacked physically, Renee. But you know what? I went deeper in terms of my healing scriptures. I went deeper in terms of believing that no, whatever I'm feeling, God, you will and have healed me of this totally. And it's not going to stop anything. And then, Lord, and if I'm not there, if I'm in hope instead of faith, then talk to me, as you're teaching me about how to rule and reign as a child of God, as a son, of the high king. As he is, so am I here on the earth. And so if I represent you, then my prayer is that you will show me how to walk in that so that I get results. And guys, that is, let me say this, that this is the main emphasis: getting results, getting results in my business, getting results health-wise, getting results in my counseling center, more as the bigger vision he gives, getting results. So operating under his grace, which is his supernatural power to get results. So, and so I'm seeing some results in my physical body. I am, there's some other thing. I had something mechanical. Now see what, happened in my house. And I said, Lord, I'm going to believe you to fix it. If you said we can move mountains. So whatever it is going on in my furnace, fix it, tweak it, adjust it, do whatever it is. But this clanging, clanking noise, I'm asking you to fix it. So, you know what I'm saying? So he's giving me opportunities to exercise, what he's teaching me. And the noise has stopped. Now, every now and then it would kick back in, and I say, I don't care. It's done. He said, whatever I prayed, believe, and I have received it, I have it. It's done. Furnace, in the name of Jesus, and I would speak to it. So I've been finding myself operating and confessing and decreeing things that I hadn't done before, decreeing some things in terms of my ministry, decreeing some things in terms of my finances, you know what I'm saying? But he's giving it an opportunity, like David, he slew the Goliath and he slew the lion. He had those private victories that gave him confidence for the public victories. You know what I'm saying? So what God is doing in me is giving me opportunities for those public, those private victories. He said, you can call the repairman if you want to. But I said, Holy Spirit, and I can as a backup. You know what I'm saying? But I said, no, I'm trusting you to fix it. No clanking. Quiet in the background. So you know what I'm saying? So it's like, okay, what else can I exercise my authority on? Give me something every day that I can exercise my authority on and get quick results. So that's kind of where I am, guys. This has been an amazing 3 weeks. I'm so excited at this year and what God is doing in this big vision. Is like, dang God, if you bless me to do that, that will be a game changer. That is a blue ocean game changer, not only for the counseling centers and that I'll replicate and how that's going to operate differently than anything that's out here.
Yeah.
Different.
And it's not if he does it, it's when he does it.
It's when he does it. Thank you, Donna. So when he does it, it's going to be different than anything out here. And thank you for that. And 4% and 7K was a part of all of that. So I'm thankful that I stuck with it, you know, as I walk through all of the transitional periods that Vic has gone through over these past years. And I have, you know, I've stuck with it because I knew God had guided me here. In spite of the delay, in spite of not having the results I've wanted in the past, I think I've been with him about 4 years, you know what I'm saying? But I knew, you know, when you know that you know that you know, you don't stay, you don't move. You know what I'm saying? You move, you don't go by sight. You go by what the word of God said. And so because he's my mentor, whatever he told me to do, I did. Whatever he told me to buy, I bought. You know, whatever, you know, even if I didn't, you know, and the blessing is that God always blessed me with the money to do it. You guys know my financial situation past. And, you know, and God would bless me with the resources to be able to do it every time. And so if he's going to show us, like he said, how to earn $10,000 this year, then yes, then I've got to, and if he's my mentor, you know, if I'm going to half obey him, then I'm going to get pitiful results. And there were some times when I would go back and look at it, I said, oh man, I missed that key. Oh my goodness. Okay, I see why that didn't happen the way, okay, got it. You know, so learning curve. I'm all right with learning curves. You know what I'm saying? I'm all right with learning curves. Because I know that at some point, then the harvest is coming. So I am with him to believe that this is going to be the best year, you know, for all of us. And I know that each of us are part to some, you know, we vary, you know, in terms of how we're involved with 7K and how we're involved with 4%. But as long as we're being led by him, then he's going to yeah, Renee had to have an appointment, doctor's appointment, so we will pray for her as a group before we leave. For those of you who can stay on after our 8:30 time frame. But I'm believing that this is definitely going to be the season where all the pieces kind of fall into place. And because of how he's dealt with me, I believe he's positioning me. So yes, Donna, we don't devise small beginnings, and you know, a little bit here and a little bit there. I've earned more this year than I ever have in 4% and 7K. So it's still not anywhere near the 100,000 a year. I'm believing a month. You know, is my first benchmark. You know, because I confess 100,000 a month, 100,000 a week, 100,000 a day as a beginning place. That comes out of my mouth every day. So, you know, what I've gotten is a small beginning, but I'm headed there. And with what he showed me, I need it. You know what I'm saying? The finances to do what he's showing me, I can't do it unless he blesses my finances. So I think I have positioned myself for him to put me in a place where I can do what he's showing me. So any comments or thoughts about what I've shared? And then a couple of things that I'll share about what Vic's doing. No comments. Okay. So at least you know what to pray for me for, because he's not done with me. There's a reason for Monday, and I still have questions before him. How do I do this? How does this look? You know, there was one time when I was asking for prayer and I didn't hear anything for a while. And I said, well, why am I not hearing you? He said, because I wanted to be sure that you didn't go in and try to make up your own plans, that you were at a place where the Bible says, acknowledge me in all your ways. And so if I didn't tell you anything, you were willing to sit and wait. I said, I arms cut, legs cut. I think I've got that, you know, in the vision. I think I've gotten that point. I don't want to do anything unless I know that I know that I know that it's you. My good idea, if it's not a God idea, I don't want it. So yeah, so I knew to be still. And I said, well, you're not even talking. This is interesting, quiet, because I'm not used to quiet in my prayer time with God. But it was, and then he started to talk and deal. So remember, guys, when I first came back to God in college days, when I was at a place of suicide and all of that, you guys, you know, some of you know my story, that God was my counselor. He counseled me out of depression. He counseled me. He taught me things because I was raised Lutheran. I know nothing about spiritual gifts. I know nothing about intercessory prayer. I know nothing about hearing God's voice while operating in prophecy. I know nothing about that. He taught me all of that one-on-one, and then had me go to a church that confirmed that what I was learning was biblical, if that makes sense. Just like Paul. When he put Paul at the back of the mountain for those 3 days, that period of time, you know, where he was teaching him the changing of the gospel, you know, was going to be different than what the Jews were teaching. He dealt with Paul by himself, but then he had Paul go back to the disciples, you know, so he can know that his foundation in terms of teaching was spot on, and he did, other than preaching to the Jews, that was different, teaching, you know, the Gentiles. And but he was so solid in what he knew that even when Paul challenged him, when Peter challenged him, he didn't back down. I'm sorry, Peter, on this you're wrong. Because God had solidified, and he knew what he knew. So you're right, having a fellowship with God like that is amazing. And I know that part of my assignment is to show people how to do that, because it's amazing to me how many Christians do not have that ability to be in his place, his face all day. And it's conversational. They hear a little bit here, a little bit there, bits and pieces, you know, it's not conversational. And I know that that's part of what I'm going to do, is to show people how to do that. I'll do seminars and retreats and that kind of thing with that in mind. So, so yeah, he's given me a big vision, but I also know that I'll probably start the mastermind, you know, because you can't do this thing. The picture that he has of me, I can't do this alone. And so, you know, so there'll be like-minded people that he'll add, and that we'll work together in terms of making the bigger vision work. Okay. So a couple things, and then if we have time, if God's been dealing with you guys on anything this year, maybe you can share what he shared with you personally, for those who feel comfortable doing that. But with Vic, the last conversation that he's had is that he said he's going to teach us how to earn $10,000. And it looks like he's trying to put everything in place for us guys, so that it's going to be possible. So I'm looking forward. I'm hoping that this week, you know, we heard about the developer who had some kind of heart attack or some kind of heart issue. And it really does show the advantage of praying. I know that at some point I have to have an intercessory team, you know, who will pray for what I'm doing when we move into especially the bigger picture. Because, you know, then you have a delay, but what can you do when someone's sick? You know, and so I'm hoping that the rollout that he's trying to have, you know, will happen this week. It sounds like we're close to being there. But listen to him in terms of his strategy of helping us to earn $10,000 And for me, I'm going to multiply that to 100,000. I'm not 10,000. I've already reached that goal. You know what I'm saying? But it's how do you reach 10,000 a month? That I've not yet reached. And so that's still good, but I'm aiming for the bigger. So watch him and listen to him. And I'm going through his material. I heard Thomas say he's starting at square one. And so, by, going through the 7 steps, I hope you don't mind me saying that. And so I am going back through some stuff that I thought I understood, because my goodness, some stuff I thought I understood about God. And I realized, no, you didn't see this half fully. You know what I'm saying? And so just like a book, when you read it and go through it the second time, you pick up stuff that you didn't see the first time. So stay plugged in, guys. My prayer is that you guys are working on your website. Good, Donna. I'm glad to know that you lift your business and your partners and affiliations in prayer daily. And we need to do that for each other. I pray for you guys also. And so we need to definitely be intentional, about doing that. My hope is that you're working on your website, because I get a sense that part of what he's doing, like when he shared with us, for those of you who are, when did he do this? All the meetings are starting to run together, but he did this meeting on how to create your own community and how we can use eStage, as a way of starting our own community. And so you need a website to do that. You know what I'm saying? Oh, well, not totally, because he showed us how you can do it through email, just through your autoresponder. And so if you don't have your website, still follow what he's saying in terms of how to build your community of at least 1,000 people, because that is where your resources, that's where your money's coming. You realize he's not dealing a lot with marketing and Google and all of that yet, because to him, doing what you need to do to create your community is easy money. And you get, in other words, you get raving fans who are willing to follow what you do, then that's easy money. But he's really showing us how to develop the community. And so my YouTube station is growing small, thank God. And it's not by leaps and bounds, but 26 people, so it's growing. And so it shows that what I'm now doing is people are watching it. And you've seen my videos, of that I've placed my videos on our Legacy 10 website. And so there are, I can feel the momentum building. And I think that once I start putting on some success stories, when I show my new website, which I hear from Vic is close to being done, because he's wanting to incorporate as much of the new stuff that he's involving with eStage to the Diamonds website, if that makes sense. So I understand now the delay, because the delay is that he's improving it. Every time there's a new something, he's telling his developer, add that to their website, add that to their website. You know what I'm saying? So I'm excited about that. So focus on, know that that's the goal this year is community. And for those of you who haven't upgraded yet to 4% Pro, I know that many of us have. My prayer is that if you can do it, and I know, please do it, because if it's going manual, if it's going annual, where people have to pay $1,000 a year, but you can get in where you only have to pay $1,000 and you don't have to pay again. If you can take advantage of that, do that. It's the reason why I took advantage of the AMA, not the AMA, the eStage ambassadors. You know what I'm saying? Because I wanted to, the eStage Pro, whatever the eStage, the opportunity to be able to sell his products. When he tells us stuff like that, and we can take advantage of it, it helps us so that we don't have to pay more. It saves us money, though. So for those of you who can, or who feel led to do, and if not, then, amen. We all have to do as we feel led to do. So in terms of 4%, those are really the only things that I have. I'm going to listen to his video again that he did on how to set up your community. That's part of what's on my agenda today, is to listen to that again so I can be sure I'm incorporating steps. Probably my next video that I do, you're going to see me invite people to my VIP inner circle. But then God has to show me, how does that work with what we do here? You know what I'm saying? How do I incorporate that with, I don't incorporate it. I think what we do different here is going to be different than that inner circle. So that will mean another day for me, I think, of meeting with people, but that's okay. That's okay. So any comments, any revelation, insight that God has given you this year? People have left because they had to go to work or whatever. So I don't know, Donna or Thomas, if you have anything that you can share. This will probably go out to just our small people. I'm definitely not publishing this. And it'll just go out to the few people who will normally connect with us. And that's it. So no comments, Donna, no comments, Thomas, at this point? Okay. Okay, no problem. I do want to ask you, but I'll ask that when we're done, Donna. And just want to hear a little bit more about your wonderful experience in Mexico. So I'll ask you that when we end. So this is all I had for today, guys. We're back in the full swing. Probably after Monday, it'll be, unless you have something that is serious you need help with, like seriously, then let me know. But otherwise, I'm going to stay focused until Monday. I'll be more available to giving you whatever you might need. If you need help with anything, let me know. I am really expecting this to, and I know we said this. This is interesting, and I need to. I've heard people say that they believe, some ministers say that they believe that this year is going to be a tough one for some people. That this could be a tough one. But I also have heard, but in it, God is going to have light. That in it, God is preparing a few people, or some people who can hear his voice, to be shining lights of darkness, because God will never be outdone by darkness. And so in that place, there's going to be a remnant of us that hear it, and our businesses will flourish when others don't. If we hit this place where, because I'm hearing more conversation about possible dollar reset. We can't keep hurting money. That people are concerned about the dollar. But I am believing that in spite of that, that's going to be a remnant of us. We're going to do well in spite of. And God is preparing us that there are things to do. I hear that there are things to do in 2022. You rhymed that. Okay, Donna. Well, I figured you would, right? That's what you do. So there are things to do. And I think if we stay connected with him, and don't get caught up into what is happening in the world, or ain't happening in the world, if another strand becomes available to I am not filling my head with that crap. I am really trying to stay focused on what God is having me to do. And as we do that, we're going to be lights in darkness. And so, and amen. That's who we are as Christians. So, and I've heard that kind of, not in a doom and gloom kind of way, but not to be surprised, but be prepared. And I just believe we will be. So I am praying for a fantastic year for all of you. Things to do in 22. That I believe that this is going to be that for many of us who have dreamed and believed for stuff, that this is going to be the year when we walk in it. I know people say that every year, and I just did not want that to be another, this is going to be a good year. I needed to, if you don't change mindsets, you don't change behaviors, you don't grow spiritually, this year will be just like last year. You know, you've got to, as our soul prosper, we prosper. You know what I'm saying? So then as we change in terms of our will, our emotions, our thought patterns, when we shift, then our life will line up. You know what I'm saying? As we think in our heart, so is it with us. So we determine the kind of light. And I'm going to rule and reign this year. And as a child of God, a child of the Creator, I can create the lifestyle I desire. And he's going to help us to walk in that revelation. So I pray for a fantastic year, and I look forward to connecting with you again next week. Until then, guys, be tremendously blessed and prosperous. Oh, wait a minute, I can stop recording.